Well, howdy, y'all. Welcome to another supercharged episode of the High Voltage Live Show. I'm your host, Willie Snyder from Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. Joined by my awesome co-host, Mr. K. James Stallcup, over there in Longhorn Country. Give him a hook 'em horns from the Mile High City. Really awesome. We have a really awesome show for you. We have been collaborating all week to come together with a whole bunch of really awesome stuff. And look who we have already in here, and we guarantee we have the soundbite up in this stream.
He still, I thought we blocked him.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you want to block him. You want to block him. He's been really hurting you on the Willie Quiz, but yeah.
I think you two are conspiring against me. That Denver connection's going on. Your old apprentice, giving them everything.
But
I know how it is.
You have over there in South Florida, and I think it's southwestern Florida, you have David Engelhardt. I think he's like central western Florida.
I got a question for David. We were trying to figure out how to get that off of there because we figured out the time it expired on it. Apparently you might have left it on or something. I don't know what happened. But I went over, I couldn't just delete the course off your thing or reset it. It doesn't do that because it's a free course. So what we ended up doing, and I'm not sure.
Oh, it is Southwest Florida. Okay.
I'm not sure if it's working or not yet, but what we did is I put the course in as paid, and then I went in and added the course back to it as a paid, and then I went in and put it back to free. So we're hoping that took care of it. I couldn't tell, but it showed 0.01 seconds. So I think if you go on now, you should be able to start over again.
All right.
So I hope
that's
cool.
Look at Daniel, dude. What? Seriously, dude? Like, Daniel said, while the FBI is looking into NBA rigging, they're looking into investigate the Willie Quiz. Dude, really? Come on, man. Dude.
I'm going to be like Congress, and I'm subpoenaing
oh, man.
y'all's phone records.
Not doing it.
We'll check everything out.
Oh, man.
What do you got going on there? You said you had some audio or something.
Yeah, so...
we're going to see. We're going to see. There's going to be a butt whooping taking place in Denver, and it ain't going to be on the Denver side.
All right.
Dallas is going to beat y'all by 20 points.
All right, so I got two friendly wagers. Well, first of all, we have to do the DJ 85 prediction for tonight. We have the Vikings against the Chargers. I'm taking the Vikings.
I'll take Chargers.
I'll take Vikings by 10 points. I'm gonna take Vikings because they got Aaron Jones back tonight, and he's on my fantasy. I just traded to get him, so we'll see. I think they're gonna get running back going. I think it's gonna be 21-31 Vikings. DJ's going Vikings upset. Oh, dude, we're going against you, and you're taking Chargers. So David says that he can he answer the questions this
sure.
weekend?
Anytime you want to.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to make
Anytime.
sure that it popped up correctly. And that doesn't even take any time. You can go over and check right now and see. I can't check it on your account and pull it up that way. I can just see how much time you spent on it and all that stuff. But I just want to make sure that it's popping up and it's ready to go.
All right, so let's move into my audio. Everyone knows the rules. King James can stop at any time since you have to wait till the end of this audio to actually get the full satisfaction of it. But I think you'll love it because there's a certain code guy by the name of Paul Abernathy that's going off the rails this week. So I think you'll like it. I think it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Question. Totally different. So you need to take those things always into consideration. And that was the whole point of this episode. Okay? So at the end, look, if you've got questions, you really want to learn the NEC deeper. You want to be connected with me. And you know what? Use me and abuse me. You might not like me. You might not like my attitude. I like to think I teach everybody. I don't like jackasses, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. Don't try to befriend me and then turn into a jackass. I can point people, tell you who that is. I have helped literally thousands and thousands of people. I take phone calls from people all the time. I give of myself 24/7 to this industry. If you're only interested...
So my first thing is, really 24/7, huh? Like, I mean, do you give yourself 24/7, James? I mean, because
Hell no.
You won't even answer me. I try to call you.
I might be on the golf course there at the pool hall.
I try to call you at like specific time and you don't even answer. But, no, it's pretty funny because you are pretty awesome as far as like people reaching out to you. And like, even if it's like, 10 hours a day or 4 hours a day or whatever it is, it's not 24/7. I just thought that was like pretty exaggerated.
Just to communicate with me to become a jackass, I'm not interested in you. I don't have the time. I don't have the bandwidth to consume working with you. I am only interested in your success. That's why I created the Academy. That's why for $395, literally, you get access to our course. You get access to me. You get access to the Wednesday nights. Dude, there's other people that charge over $1,000 or charge you $800 for a 2-day crash course on weekends. You can never complain the fact that I answer your emails. I created a forum for you to ask questions. Everybody else always wants to give their comments, but what do they do to the industry? How do they help the industry? So here's my thing to you. Consider the source. And then...
Remember that, James? Remember that? Remember the consider the source?
Yeah, I remember going through all of that. Yeah.
Step back and ask yourself, what have they done for the industry other than make money? Okay? I serve on code panels because I want to give back. Right? I don't get paid to serve on code panels. I write these lessons because I want to give back. Sure, I want to have you, Bob.
Stop right there. Who does he represent? He's not an expert or anything. Who does he represent when he's on those code making panels? I'll guarantee you they're probably paying his way.
So I think in code making panel 5, he's like the copper development or aluminum development or something, and then on
he's representing an organization.
Yeah.
So they're probably
100%.
paying his way. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yeah. Let me touch that. No, Paul. I'll tell you when you pay your own way. Okay, is one that show because I hadn't been the last 2 cycles. We've been too busy with other things. But before that, I was at every one of those. We paid our own way there, setting all the panels and everything. And plus, I was on NFPA 70B at one time. I'm about to go off 70E. I'm just tired of being on there. I was on 70E since it started, but I'm going to stay on the EECA committee, which deals with electrical equipment and chemical atmospheres. Right. We don't represent any organization, any companies, or anybody that pay our way. We pay our own way to go there. That's what's really called giving back to the industry.
True.
Okay? When you're paying your own money to go do that. Okay?
Yeah.
And we've been doing that for 30 years. Oh, probably 40 years. And nobody paid our way to go to it. So that's one. That's,
of course.
That's giving back.
That's how I make a living.
Yeah.
But I like to think that you get something for it. I like to think you get some value for it. I don't go on other people's shows. Have you ever noticed that? I don't go on other people's podcasts and videos promoting my stuff because I don't need to go whoring myself out to other people.
Oh, hold on. Who's going on other podcasts whoring themselves out?
True.
I mean, we have our own podcasts. You know, we have our own groups that we create and everything. The only time I ever went on other podcasts because I was asked to, and that was NEC Live. And I was asked by Derek Vixtel to do it back-to-back weeks so people could have a better understanding on doing calculations. And then I did one for,
is Eric Candel's?
Yeah, Mark Candell. I did one for Mark Candell. He asked me to come on and do it. And that was to help him when they were doing their bidding software and stuff. Didn't have anything to do with the code. I was just telling them, you might want to look at this, 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 and this. I just started telling them all these things. And, yeah, see there? That's what I'm saying. He's with Encore Wire. They're paying his way there. And trust me, he's going to vote the way they tell him to vote. That's another thing. You represent, and I've seen this before. I remember, and my dad will tell this story. He was chairman of the hazardous locations. I think at that time it was 14, if I'm not mistaken. But he was over that, and one of the guys, he told Dad, he goes, I agree with what y'all are saying, and I'd vote that way, but I've been told not to vote that way. And I'm not going to tell the organization it was. It's one that's well known, but they told him, we want you to vote this way, and they voted the way they were told to vote.
So the interesting part about that is I think he's on code-making panel 17 for copper development. And I don't understand to me, honestly, why would you be on aluminum on code-making panel 5 and then be on copper development, code-making panel 17? It's kind of weird. It seems like you're playing both sides of the fence. But, oh, dude, you got 26 NEC? Nice.
Well, I got a question. Isn't Paul also the one that is griping and saying he'd never use copper clad?
Well, no, he hates that. He doesn't even want it in.
Because he represents the copper industry.
Yeah.
Right there. That's what I'm talking about. You get those guys that come on there and they're going to vote against that stuff, even though it is proven that it works and everything. That's why I have a problem. And, it's just like politics. And Jerry says, oh, the code ain't like the hell it isn't. It's just like it's putting the slush in there, basically. We want this, we want this. And they go in and politic with these other people to get certain things in. That's the way they do things. I've been there. I know. I can't tell you how many parties I went to. They'd have a full day of code making panels, and then you'd have some big company throwing a big reception and everything. You go up to top floor up there of one of the hotels, and they've got drinks and hors d'oeuvres up there for everybody.
Yeah.
What do you think they're doing that for? The gracious of their heart? That's politicking.
Everybody that's as a voting member of the NEC
or
the NFPA.
I've been to them. I know what I'm talking about.
Well, so one thing that I challenge everybody that is watching this to actually do some research on what me and King James have done, because we had Crystal Hunter on and interviewed her. It was a really early episode. I think it was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But she's the CEO of Codes and Standards probably for CeroWire. I don't remember exactly her title. But we had her on and talk about the aluminum because there's a lot of different conspiracies that go on with aluminum, and the aluminum alloy 8000 is just probably one of the best products out there. But Crystal Hunter did a really good job. Go check out some of her articles on the what is that, EC&M? She did that article with the aluminum alloy.
I think it was EC&M.
Yeah, so Crystal Hunter, really good. We had her on. And who do we have? Oh, dude, it's up in the house. What's up, John, man? John Wade.
It's really interesting. We've been having a lot of people that have been joining, subscribing to the podcast, and even over on Rumble. I think on Rumble we're 40-something now. I mean, we just started that a little while back. And I think we appreciate everybody sharing and liking. Always make sure you like the podcast, because apparently it's something good on the algorithms and stuff.
Yeah.
But sharing it around and letting all these other electricians see it, they might not be familiar with what we do here.
Yeah, 100%. I'll keep rolling. I think this is almost over. It's 30 seconds left or something.
That's all I can say it is. I'm also not living on my daddy's accomplishments.
Oh.
Everything that I do is by me.
Ooh, shots fired. Shots fired.
Now, here's another good example of somebody talking crap. I guess when by the time I turned 20, I was a journeyman because I started doing electrical work when I was 14 for my grandfather. At the age 20, I was a master. And by the age 25, I was the chief electrical inspector for the city of Grapevine. That's riding your daddy's coattails. You know, I earned all that on my own, and all these committees, everything I said on. He probably isn't even aware of the last 4 code changes that have been written. I wrote those code changes. And of course, Dad worked with me and worked on illustrating them and stuff like that. But
he's an alternate on 17.
Copper, like I've been saying. Yeah. But when they're coming on and they make false accusations like that, that's uncalled for. And he's done this, 3 or 4 times now. And I'm going to tell you why he's doing it. Because he does not want anybody to see all the new material and the illustrations and the learning management system and everything we're coming up with. This next year that's coming up is going to be very incredible with all the new stuff that's about to be added to it.
Right.
And we're in the process right now. Believe this or not, I'm sending it out tomorrow. The new 70E will be updated with all brand. And I'm telling you, it's one of the finest looking publications. We're going to do a Sunday show, and I'm going to show the code changes and that publication. And then we're starting on the design. Now, I want everybody to be familiar with what's about to take place with this. We have our electrical design book, and we're going to call it the design series because there's going to be 3 series to this. You're going to have 1,000 votes or less, and then you're going to have over 1,000 votes. And if you're dealing with high voltage, I would highly recommend this book because it's going to go through all the articles, everything that's been moved, taken out of other articles in the code, creating their own parts. We're setting that up now. And then the other one we're going to do is limited energy because they moved everything around in chapter 7 and 8. So we're going to fix that one. And so you'll have 3 design series books to publish or purchase at that point. And they're all going to be brand new illustrations, all the call outs, everything just like you see with ours. And if there's any calculations or anything we're dealing with, we'll make sure that those are done step by step with all the section tables and all that. But just to answer Paul's question, I now am all the publications, everything have been transferred over into my name.
Nice.
So I am the owner of the publications now.
Dude,
Dad
awesome.
said, "You've earned it. It's all yours. All the work you've done, illustrations." He goes, "It's yours."
Nice.
And of course, he lives with me. I take care of him. But I said, man, I was so happy when he told me. But I'm going to update all those with all the new stuff and courses.
You had like meetings with like your brothers and everything, and everyone like went over like, hey, you did illustrations in like '94, and like how much do I owe you? Like $10 or something.
Well, what's interesting, a lot of people realize by the time I finish the design book, there will be over 3,500 new illustrations that have been completed.
Wow.
That's how much material and publications we have. And then there's a lot of stuff that we're setting up. There's some new technology that come out for the online that we're going to be developing for the online courses and stuff. And I think everybody's going to be very, very impressed with the amount of effort that's going to go into this training. And I will tell you now, Paul, that ain't riding Daddy's coattails. All the learning management system, all the illustrations, the new publication designs, pre-flight and all the publications, the website, all that was done by me. I didn't hire anybody. I did it all myself. If you call that riding Daddy's coattails, I tell you what, there's a lot of people who like to ride them coattails.
Yeah.
Doing that amount
so
of work.
whether you like me or not, hate me or whatever, I don't care. But I'm going to teach you something. You're going to learn something, I promise. So if you want more information on our program, go.
So, like I say, he just had to like end his podcast by talking crap. And, like the one thing that's good is we got guys like John, and he's saying he's going to be swamped with all these new data centers being built. And dude, that's awesome, John. I love that. I love the work. Can
I speak to that real quick?
Yeah.
One of the things, that's why we're going to be doing a lot of work with the limited energy systems. But I'm also going to suggest, because you're dealing with those data centers and stuff, if you're unsure, you want to make sure you look at the lightning protection portion for that, because there's a lot there. And if we have the NFPA 780 for lightning protection for buildings and structures, and we have a part in there that deals with those data centers, and that's something you need to look at when you're getting in and you're looking at design. If you think something's wrong, that'll put you in the right ballpark and direction you want to move.
Nice. Dude, I love it. So we're going to go in the meme, I guess?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just over here screwing off, talking,
Yeah,
not paying any attention.
that's all good.
All right, here we go.
Sure looks like your boyfriend's a fire alarm guy.
That is funny. Now that is funny. I hadn't seen that one. I was like, okay.
Yeah, it was funny because I saw it in one of the groups and I was like, oh, I gotta do this one. But yeah, it's pretty funny. I actually worked as a fire alarm guy for a while, and I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. But you know, it's hard. Like, it's the thing I don't like. I actually do not like fire alarm jobs. Like, they're not fun. You know, like, but it's like the theory of it. Like, there's been times where I come back and sit there and tell on the podcast, like, oh man, I learned this and this, you know, and you're sitting there like, damn, I didn't even know that, you know, or whatever. Or maybe you knew it, but you didn't remember, you know, like learning it, whatever. But it's like that whole thing. That's what's so fun about this podcast, is just keeping that whole thing churning, you know, just like, oh man, just what I did today. I put my meter on ohms, and then I touched it together and it was like 0.1, and then I put it on there and it was 0.77, and I knew it was like, you know, whatever, like about 50 feet away or something, you know. So then you go about 50 feet away, break the circuit, find it, you know. So
yeah, you know, it's funny because I remember when I was coming through, one of the things I like doing is I like making up panels, and I like doing control work, and I like bending pipe. But I remember we did one. We were in class, and the older electricians will know this, but we used to take, and we'd take that cable, strip it, and we'd do all this wrapping in the grounds and all that. And it's for higher voltage conductors. And they were teaching us how to do that. You had to be a quarter wrap coming up. Everything had to be so perfect because of the way electricity would flow across it, building your cone up to go out so far. And I remember doing that, and that was freaking awesome, man.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, David, dude, that's a good point, man. Like, you do not want lightning messing with data centers, you know.
That's right.
And you have to have that third-party certification, because you're not going to get that from the NEC. So that's kind of what we've been doing with this podcast.
I want to give an example of this. They were having trouble. My ex-father-in-law, he was very well off, we'll just say that. And they had a place out at Possum Kingdom out at the lake, and the whole house was, I was trying to remember the name of the product they were using that controlled the whole house. They had a big data center that they built a room that was over in this garage, and then it went through all the house. It controlled the boat docks. I mean, everything out there. Crestron, I think was the name of it. And anyway, they kept blowing the boards. And when they were building it, they had an engineering firm out there, and they had a 4-story tower that went up, and on the top floor it had windows all the way around. It actually had an elevator, and you go up there and you just see the whole dang lake basically.
Nice.
And when they were building it, they had the metal roofs and stuff like that, and they were doing lightning protection. And we had gone out there, and they were in the construction stage, and I was looking. I told him, I said, they're not grounding that right. And he goes, oh, no, these guys are known. That's do lightning protection. I said, okay. I just let it go. Well, they get the house built and everything. It kept blowing the boards and stuff, and they couldn't figure it out. And so he called me out there, and this is about a year later because they just couldn't figure it out. And I went out there and I started looking at everything, and I said, well, this is wrong. This is wrong. I said, here's what we can do to fix it. We did a lot of stuff. And anyway, I got it all back to 1 point, basically, for the grounding system and everything. 100%. And all of a sudden, he wasn't blowing any boards or things anymore. And one of the guys that was out there, he was the engineer out there, and he was telling David, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I just introduced myself as James when I got out there. And he literally said, he goes, well, I know a guy that used to be in Fort Worth. They have a publication on this. I think his last name's Stalkup. I just started laughing. And David goes, this is him. And he goes, James Stalkup? I said, yeah, my dad and I. And he goes, y'all wrote that book on 780? I said, yeah. He goes, well, I was looking at that. And I said, yeah, you read it wrong. And I was going through and explaining what he did wrong. And as he went through the publication stuff, he was like, oh, so I did it wrong over here. I said, yeah. I said, you got to come back over here. And so after we did it, we cleaned everything up. The guy, he goes, well, I gave him my card. He goes, if I have any more problems, he goes, I'm going to call you out. Is that okay? I said, yeah, sure.
Dude, that's so awesome, and that's the reason that we do this, like I love educating apprentices. I love when apprentices like have that spark in their eye and they want to learn. Like, to me, that's just so awesome. It's like, hey, teach me something, Right. Like my advice for all you apprentices out there is go up to your journeyman tomorrow, Monday, whatever, and just go, hey man, teach me a trick. Because they know a lot of tricks. Like, dude, I know so many tricks. And the thing is that, dude, and it's awesome. Like, we have David in here. Dude, David could probably teach me a bunch of tricks with different stuff, because David's been in this whole game for a long time. And, I haven't been on, like, the plans examining side. So maybe he'll be like, hey, when you see this on plans examine, we had one where they had a CT cabinet going directly to a service. And I was like, hey, we need to have direction on how to proceed on this, da-da-da-da-da. This has already been plans examined, already had the whole thing go through the city and everything. And they're like, change the fuses. And I was like, what? There's no fuses. Like, where do you see fuses? It's a CT cabinet going directly in the building. There's no fuses. Like, nothing I could change in here, And so that's where we have to kind of, like, use this podcast to, like, kind of get through to people like David and, kind of break the ice with some of these code guys and, get this whole thing, like, figured out and go, hey, this ain't going to work. Like, you're not going to be able to do this. Like, yeah, you can write the code and everything, but if it's not enforceable, it's not going to stand. And that's what's going to happen. Dude, 100% with 210.8F, like, that thing's a boat anchor until 2029 right now, the way I see it. But like I say, I don't really care. I want the code to be awesome. I want it to be perfect, But it's not going to be. It's never going to be perfect. But it'd be cool if we could somehow go, hey, let's not just sell products over here, I mean, because that's essentially where I'm going with why the whole reason why they would want to sneakily pass these things and say, oh, now you have to do this. What? How do we just have to do this all of a sudden, And for them to get shut down on 625.54B, like, to me, that was awesome. That was my triumph. Like, I knew that I was going to get shot down a lot, but I got that one passed only to get denied at the end, but
I told you it would.
Yeah, it was awesome, but I don't know. You never know, but you never know.
Where's the myth of the week?
All right, do we have the myth of the week?
Yep, let's run it.
It's time for Myth of the Week.
All right, so this week is pretty awesome. We ran to this where we had to do like some different wiring inside equipment. This is not the actual thing we did. Like, this is a viral, meme that it was a viral picture that
Love the screw.
it was actually posted on my boss's wall probably 10 years ago, like a long time ago. This thing's been going around for a long time, but it's just an example of, yeah, you can't do this, but you have a lot of times when you come into this manufacturer equipment where you can do like tap conductors. So the reason I wanted to do this, James, is I wanted to show a good example of what a tap is, Like, you're tapping the center of a conductor with a smaller conductor,
Mm-hmm.
If this is done in an approved manner, this could be legal. Like, a lot of people don't think it could be, but if you have, let's just say, you always did the 10% rule. Let's just say that's 3/0 with a 200 amp, and you do like an approved tap on there, and that's number 12 gauge. Going to a 20 amp load, that's legal. That's 100% code compliant. So the reason I wanted to do this was because I wanted to show how this could be not a violation. Like, everyone's like, oh yeah, that screw didn't get taped, and there was so many awesome comments. Everyone out there is so awesome that comes in and posts comments. So much fun doing this stuff. But the one thing that you want to look at is that this could be a legal installation. This could be 100% code compliant if that number 12 is terminated in an approved manner. Now, you run into the whole thing. This is hard to do. Like, how do you do that in an approved manner in this situation? Obviously, we used to call those LBFs, little black fuckers. But those LBFs aren't going to be a screw that you're going to use. Let's just say you have some kind of a lug that's somehow terminated in there that accepts number 12. That would be the way to do it. So, David, yeah, dude. David says the wire isn't terminated per 110.14 to begin with. 100%. Yeah, I agree, David. And that's one of the obstacles that you have to overcome in this kind of situation. Like, how are you going to tap it? Like, why are you going to tap it? What's the whole reason? Do you have a sub breaker right down below that you could just tap into? Like, was this like super lazy, or is this some kind of like a tap termination? Like some kind of a, like one of the ones we ran into before is like this some kind of a service termination where just has like the service coming in, a service going out. There's no panel board. So it would be really hard to like put a panel board in there. This actually, like, I don't know if you've done this before, King James, but you could actually, if you just want to like run your radio all day or something and you needed 110 volt power back in the day, we just stab that number 12 in there and stab a number 12 into that neutral, and then we just put a receptacle in there and run our radio all day.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have battery power back in the day,
Nope.
But
sure didn't.
We wouldn't put a self-tapper screw in there, any kind of screw into the conductor or anything like that.
No, you'd set your box over there with some terminals and then tap off from there.
Oh, are you saying an outlet? We'd have to install an outlet?
That wouldn't be an outlet. And I'll tell you, they had to take I was trying to think back how it's been probably 15 years. I think they made the change, maybe 18. They had to come in and change, and you had 240.21 B and C
True.
because back in the day, a lot of people you say, "Oh yeah, just tap the secondary side of that transformer." That didn't mean it was a tap, but that was just terminology that was used. So they come in and made sure you understood that if you were going straight over a feeder over to a transformer, those are transformer secondary conductors. That wasn't a tap. The only
True.
time it's a tap's when you're really tapping from something, and then you're coming down and you put a transformer from that portion, and then it's going to feed to something else.
Yeah, and this is a good example. One of my apprentices asked me, "Oh man, why do they change the code every 3 years?" I was like, "Well, they're trying to make it better.
Yeah,
Sometimes they make it better, sometimes they make it worse." This would be an example where they make it better if they change that terminology to say that's a tap. That's a tap from a feeder conductor to a smaller conductor,
sure it is.
Like, and the reason I wanted to put this in there is because a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is a code violation." Well, yeah, you can't use a screw, but if you're able to tap that conductor correctly to that lug, then it's not a code violation. So,
That's correct.
that's the reason the myth of the week this week is false. But it's really the reason I wanted to cover this is because I wanted to kind of open people's eyes to how this is getting presented out in the field. And, people are like, "Oh, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that. No, you can't do that." And it's like, well, you can, but you can't do it with the screw into the wire, but you can do that. A lot of people, like, they see the big wire, they see the little wire, they're like, "Oh man, that little wire is going to burn up." No, it's not, because it's less than 10 foot. And it's less than 10% of the primary overcurrent device. So,
When I actually read the question, when I put this together, I was thinking about the equipment itself and looking at the installation and use of the equipment.
yeah, and
And
that could go hand in hand with this too, because we ran into this where we had to, like, basically bond the equipment ground to the neutral to make it work.
mhm.
And I don't think that's cool, really. But I mean, like, the code says, yeah, don't do that. But you know what I mean? Like, we followed the manufacturer instructions, said put this to this, do this to this, and then we had to bond this over here. Okay, cool. But I mean, a lot of the code guys will be like, "Dude, do not do that." To me, honestly, I don't really see too much of an issue with it. You're talking like maybe a couple milliamps of leakage current to the equipment ground, possibly. So it's not, I don't think, like a life safety hazard, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, when I was looking at this, I was thinking where my mind automatically went was there's a lot of stuff that companies they can't get here in the United States. They might have purchased something that was overseas,
Mm-hmm.
and this is where you come in. You start having to look at different things, and when they talk about the installation and use, they tell you it has to be listed, labeled, or both, or identified. That is an important part of this. And it says, for use shall be installed and used in accordance with any instructions included in the listing, labeling, or identification. Then they have an informational note as you can do this in the form of printed materials. You have a quick response code or the address so you can download the required instructions. So
True.
when you look at this and you look at listed and labeled, I can sit here and go through all of this right here. But one of the things I like to point out is looking at the informational note.
True.
Because,
Even though it's not enforceable, it definitely enforces that definition.
sure, because
So
it's telling you what listed and labeled is.
yeah, so they're gonna sit there and tell you that an informational note is non-enforceable, But if that informational note enforces that definition or enforces other language, like one good example is like ampacity table. You know, technically, ampacity table is an informational note, but it's an enforceable informational note. Like if all of a sudden the inspector says, "Dude, you got number 12 going to a 100 amp thing," like you can't do that. You know, like that informational note becomes enforceable at that point.
Sure. And when they're talking about this is where you have equipment that's listed and labeled. In other words, and I've been through this before, looking at OSHA 1910.7, and they have
OSHA?
to go.
OSHA?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah. You do use OSHA. I'm telling you. And that's where you get your product certification and all that, where they become NERDLs or QTLs, whatever they want to call it. So this gives you a little information about listing and labeling. But the next part is the one that you start getting into, because let me go back one here. Because if you look at this, and I read the informational note listed, what does it say? The means for identifying listed equipment may vary for each organization concerned with product evaluation, some of which do not recognize equipment as listed unless it is also labeled. Then it says use of the system employed by the listing organization allows who? The authority having jurisdiction to identify a listed product. Now, if I have a listed product and they tell you not to do something, guess what? Don't do it. And the authority having jurisdiction is going to follow that listing there. Okay? Right. That's just the way it works. And then you say, where's the code allow that? Well, if you go in and you look at 110.2, it says the conductors and equipment required or permitted by this code shall be acceptable only if approved. And then you'll see it ties you in. We're going to look at all this in a minute. 90.7, and then it takes you over to 110.3. See that? Sure. And then 100%. It's got the definitions of approved, identified, labeled, and listed. Okay? Yep. So if that's the case and it says acceptable only if approved, let me go over here. I pick up the definition of approved. Who is that?
AJ.
There you go. Now, look at this. And I'm going to go back to the other one, 9.7 in a minute.
Yeah.
NFPA's own enhanced content. It says typically approval of a listed equipment is more readily given by an authority having jurisdiction if the authority accepts the laboratory's listing marking. Other options may be available for the jurisdiction to approve equipment, including evaluation by the inspection authority, or listen to this, or field evaluation by a qualified laboratory or individual. Now, I want to stop there because you get something that's from overseas, doesn't have a listing and labeling. They come out and look at it. You may have a UL 508, 508A shop come out, and you take and you do a field evaluation on that equipment, put a field applied label on it. Guess what? It has been looked at, and it was done by a field evaluation that is a qualified laboratory, or it could be an individual, which could be, say you're in oil and gas and you're designing your own equipment because you can't purchase it. You can take responsibility for that.
Yeah, so okay? So you have engineer supervision would be that one, and then you have the field evaluation body, which is FEB. FEB is actually defined in the code. Like, you can have a field evaluation body come look at your stuff. So we've actually had to do that before.
Sure.
And let's just say you guys do not want to be taking shortcuts. If you have a field evaluation body coming out to look at your stuff, you don't want to be like cutting the Wagos out and doing all this weird stuff that people always tell me, like, oh man, we just cut the Wagos off because we don't like them. Like, yeah, you better not do that. Field evaluation body comes out. They know how that luminaire has been designed and how it came out factory installed. And if you're cutting stuff off because you don't like them, you're going to have a bad day when those guys show up.
And some of y'all will remember this, Jeremy saying that NFPA standards don't apply to National Electrical Code. Well, let's look and see. It says where an evaluation is conducted on site, industry standards such as NFPA 79, electrical standard for industrial machinery, y'all have heard me mention that many times, if applicable, can be used. Now watch this. NFPA 790 standard for competency of third-party field evaluation bodies can be used to qualify evaluation services. It can be used, or they do what? They use OSHA.
Yeah.
Okay. Then it says in 791, recommended practices and procedures of unlabeled electrical equipment valuation can be used to evaluate unlabeled equipment in accordance with national recognized standards and any requirements of the authority having jurisdiction. And then it says, hey, guess what? In order to prove that, go look at 110.2 and 110.3 that we just looked at.
100%.
See? And see, even they're saying it. Then if you come in and look at the examination of equipment for safety, I'm not going to read all that top. I just want you to see where it takes you when you look at the informational notes. It says, go look at what? 110.3. Go look at the definitions of listed and reconditioned. And in order to know the different product safety standards you can do, go look at informative Annex A.
Yeah, and
wow.
And the reason I wanted to do this was because I thought I really feel that the NFPA is trying to do a little bit of an overreach. I feel like they've been doing it since 2020, but I feel like they've been doing a little bit of overreach. And the reason that we've been doing this podcast is to kind of limit that overreach and say, nah, I think you guys are kind of overstepping your bounds a little bit here. You know, you guys are sitting there telling us what an outlet is and where it's at and all this stuff, you know, and that's not becoming true. And so we've actually showed this on this podcast, and it's been a kind of a little bit of a sore subject. Me and King James have been getting attacked a lot by these guys going, oh, dude, you guys can't read? You don't know what a definition is? It's like, okay, well, we don't make the code. Like, you guys just write the code, then we interpret it out in the field.
And here's a good one here, because if you look at the examination equipment for safety 90.7, what does it say? For specific items of equipment and materials referred to in this code, examinations for safety made under standard conditions provide a basis for approval. We've already looked at it for what the approval is, authority having jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Where the record is made generally available through promulgation, listen to this, by organizations properly equipped and qualified for experimental testing, inspections of the run of goods at factories, and service value determination through what? Field inspections.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, just reading that right there, it's basically saying, who are the co-making panels to come in and say you need GFCI protection when they didn't have the basis to do it? But yet here's the code telling you that these organizations that are doing this, they're actually properly equipped to do this testing. But yet all of a sudden we won't listen to some code-making panel members that didn't have anything to do with the testing.
Dude, I'm going to take it a step further on that one. Be like, okay, so how's the code-making panel members sitting there writing all this code and telling us how to interpret it, and then going, oh, man, we're providing you guys with solutions, and saying, oh, man, we provided you with a solution on how to do that better, you know?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I mean...
And this all goes to exactly what we're saying, and that's why I say you have to take the code as a whole. And when you break them down and look at them the way I'm saying, that does it there. I said the word was.
Oh, dude, that's hilarious, David. Oh, that's hilarious. He
said
it has to be wrapped counterclockwise, not clockwise, or whatever it was.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're talking about.
So on the picture, go to my picture of the myth of the week. So if you go to the picture, the screw is wrapped the wrong direction. So it should have been, the wire should have been wrapped the other direction to where it tightens, where it's clockwise. but it's counterclockwise. So like they did it wrong direction, you know. But it's really funny. It's a really funny joke. You know, like I really appreciate everyone for participating. It's so much fun. A lot of guys at work will come up to me and be like, "Hey, what's the myth of the week this week?" You know, and I'm like, "All right, this is what it is," and they're like, "What?" You know, and then I start telling them, and I'm like explaining to them, and they're like, "Yeah, that's a code violation." I'm like, maybe not. You know, so it is.
That comment by David reminds me of the one that when you have a receptacle, the ground has to be turned up. That the code said that, and I was like, "Where is it? I've never seen that before."
Yeah. No, and I mean, we could do some of those myths in the future, you know, like if everyone like wants, like if there's a certain myth that somebody wants, like reach out to me. I'll look at it. I'll do it. Like a lot of times it's apprentices ask me questions like, "Hey, is this only for residential?" I'm like, "What? Well, where'd you hear that?" And then next thing you know, I go put it out there and then everyone's like, "Yeah, that's only for residential, you idiot," you know? And it's really funny because then my apprentice is like, "See, Bill, I told you that was only for residential." I'm like, "Really?" I was like, "I never heard that before," but it's really funny. And dude, like that would, David has a good point. That would be good. We might do that next week, dude. Ground up, ground down. You know, the thing is, I like the whole controversy. Like, remember when we did the one on one hole straps with the hole up, or one hole strap with the hole down, which was stronger, and then we actually had the video. And remember, you were like, "Oh yeah, I think it's stronger with it down," or whatever. And I was like, "No," I was like, go look at the video." Then you had to like eat crow and post the video, and you're like, "Yep, I was wrong," you know. But that's what's so fun, and especially with you losing as the Dallas Cowboys coming to Mile High.
That ain't happening.
Sunday. Yeah.
Denver's gonna get that ass
It's
whooped.
Dude, I'm actually starting Broncos and Cowboys that day because fantasy will be great for me. I will love fantasy. Fantasy will be great. I will love fantasy. Fantasy numbers will be awesome. If I would have had Javonte, I would have started Javonte, but I don't know. I don't know how good a day Javonte is gonna do. Like
I probably have 250 yards.
No. No. Not happening. We'll see. All right, so are we going to your topic?
Yep. Let's go ahead and get that knocked out.
Hey, I just phoned a friend.
Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's
You're
ride.
right. Y'all gonna rock all right. Y'all gonna be rocking down to the bottom, going downhill after you meet up with the mighty bonnet Dallas Cowboys.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right. What we're gonna see you'll see a lot of listing label recondition here as we're going through the hazardous locations. As we get further down into it, the next one, you'll start seeing different things. But all they did here, now I think this is important because they put a lot of information in here. This just isn't normal when you're looking at recondition. You're going to see this where we're getting into class 1, class 2, and class 3. But they talk about reconditioned equipment and where it's permitted. Okay. And you're going to see that they're going to talk about where you're dealing with rotating electrical equipment. And this is where you're wanting to find the information on rewinding and repair of motors. They're going to take you to ANSI. And then you got your IEC here where they talk about equipment repair, overhaul, and reclamation. And this is going to be important because this is where you start getting into looking down below and they talk about listed or identified equipment and you have other equipment here. Okay.
Right.
Then they got what's not permitted to be installed and it's reserved. But it says equipment that is required to be listed for use in hazardous classified locations after reconditioning shall be listed as reconditioned.
Yeah.
And it says equipment that is required to be identified for use. Now, see, that's something that was good. It just happened to work out this week, going in, looking at, talking about listing and labeling, and then talking about identified type equipment.
100%.
But it's telling you there that it has to be identified as reconditioned. And then when you get into your other equipment that's used in hazardous classified locations, it tells you here it's not required to be listed or identified. Now, why are they telling you that? Because a lot of that equipment that they design for some of these hazardous classified locations, they're designing it themselves. There's no listing and labeling. It's a field installed label.
Yeah,
Okay.
and another thing that you're going to run into, just for all the people out there in the freaking universe that's watching this podcast, thanks so much for subscribing and liking this podcast, is that you're going to run into what King James is talking about. There's stuff outside of this listing requirement.
That's right.
And so this could be something that is not part of this code reference. And to me, a lot of the code guys are saying the code is broken. The code is broken. You know?
No, it isn't.
And that's fine, but you have to learn how to first interpret the code, look at it, and understand what it's saying. And there's parts of this reference that don't apply. So that's kind of what I wanted to interject, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, King James.
Oh, it didn't bother me at all. One of the things that I think is important, because we put this in the author's note, okay, the second sentence or comment. We said equipment is required to be reconditioned according to who? The manufacturer's instructions. And
Right.
when you do not have manufacturer's instructions, what do you have to follow? Nationally recognized standards.
Yep.
Okay. And you know how I've gone over so many times explaining 1910.7 and tying the definitions with OSHA, and then looking at a few other different standards, and I might call it NFPA 79. I mean, there's a lot of different things that I go over. This is a good example and reason why you have to know the other type of standards when you're dealing with this. But
Dude, 100%.
I'll give you another one, and it'll be in Article 501. But just hypothetically, say that I was looking at this equipment and I was wanting to design it, and I have to determine my location. Well, how are you going to determine that location? You're going to have to look at NFPA 497 to help you get that determination in order to classify the location. So you know, if you can't buy a listed and labeled piece of equipment, then you're going to field mark this, and it's going to be a custom made piece of equipment.
Yeah.
But you have to know how to do it. You're using quite a few different standards in order to make that determination.
You know, one thing I want to ask David is if he allows ground up or down arguments in his code group. Because we need to do that. We need to do one. It's fun.
Now, this is just getting in your hazardous locations areas where you have these luminaire retrofit kits, and they're just telling you that these kits that are listed for the location, you can take and you can retrofit these. It is permitted, but they have to be for the location and listed for the type of field installation with those type of luminaires.
Yeah,
Okay.
true. I think it's kind of a no-brainer. Like when you get into those retrofit kits, like they tell you everything you need to know.
Sure. And this is where you get into class 2, and just look. You got the same informational notes, don't you?
Yep.
Then you get in your listed and identified equipment. You pretty much have exactly the same thing, telling you when it's permitted and everything. Then you got your other type of equipment, stuff that you can't purchase. So you're getting the exact same thing here, and they're telling you the exact same thing, that the recondition's done according to manufacturer's instructions. If there's no manufacturer's instructions, it's done according to your national recognized standards. Okay.
Right.
Then you got the same thing. You're dealing with dust. They're telling you the same thing for the luminaire retrofit kits. So basically, they just added the same thing. It's just two different types of locations. One deals with gas and vapors. The other deals with dust. Okay.
Sure.
Then you come over and you pick up class 3. Look, the exact same thing. They didn't change anything. Okay.
Yeah, so one thing you're gonna notice, I didn't mean to interrupt you, bro, but one thing you're gonna notice with all the people out there, like a lot of apprentices have reached out to me and said, dude, why do they say this? Why do they say this? Why do they say this? And it's like, you don't have to like investigate into why they say it. They clone it from all this different stuff. So King James had made a really awesome comment where he says, same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. That's exactly correct. So what they did is they just took a section, they just cloned it. And then they just put it over here. And they just clone it, put it over there. Clone it, put it over there. So it's the same exact language. So that's the whole reason that he's been able to slip out of my code questions every week, because I just do a code question from different sections. Like I did pipe organs, and he's like, oh, that comes from this conductor over here in whatever, and it's just cloned and put over there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one that's going to help you guys pass the test, because you're going to notice that where it's just the same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing, and just go over there, boom, same thing. It's just cloned.
That's right. And the only difference between these three, one is class 1, one's class 2, one's class 3.
Yep.
Class 1 deals with gases and vapors. Class 2 deals with your dust. And class 3 is your fibers and flames.
Yep.
That's it.
And that is your hazardous location made simple in a second. I can't wait till King James makes a 1-second video of how easy that is.
Back there.
Oh, dude, I've had that before too, David. Yeah, they want it ground to the left on one of the jobs, and I'm like, but the whole hotel is ground to the right. I'm like, I'm going to just do it ground to the right.
But you look at your class 3 luminaire retrofit kits, same thing. Then you come over here and look, this is where you're getting in to this zone location stuff. Okay? And this is in Article 505, and look, they got the exact same thing there. And I remember when they first came out with the zone equipment, we were one of the ones, I mean, we went through the whole freaking article and put all kinds of information. And, we do a lot of stuff overseas, and they were trying to correlate the equipment.
Like you guys are the first ever. Oh, all right. Yeah, you are.
Well, they were sending us pictures of all this stuff because we'd never seen any of this equipment. Nobody in the States had seen it. So we were drawing equipment showing you what it looked like because nobody was familiar with it. And there's a lot of different rules where it's adjacent to a button up and all of this with class 1, 2, and 3. But they put the same exact information here. Now, right here, this is where they're getting into this type of equipment, and they're talking about the listing of the equipment.
Right.
And they added 2 here. So you'll see 3 and you'll see 4 with the exception. I'll explain what they did. These are where they're getting in with these X and U markings. Okay. And they're telling you if you have this zone equipment and it's provided with a certificate and an X suffix is indicated on the certificate number, a review shall be performed at this point to confirm compliance with the specific conditions of use indicated on the certificate and the installation instructions. And then when you pick up the one with the U, they're going to tell you here the component is incomplete and shall not be installed. So they're telling you when you're looking at these and you've got these 2 suffixes on here, there's certain rules here you need to look at.
Nice.
when you're
I like
using this zone equipment.
Yeah.
Okay? That's
Yeah.
why we put it in there. Anybody that's in the hazardous location, that right there is important to know.
100%.
You need to know if you're using zone equipment, that's what you're getting into. And then you look in these areas and they got these retrofit in here, they're telling you exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's, same. And then they added in here when you're in these zone locations and they're talking about the flexible cables, cords, and connections, they're going to tell you the permitted uses here. Okay.
Yeah.
And all they're really telling you is to go look at it where you have a flexible cable here and you're using it as part of a means of a cable assembly. They tell you need to look at C2B1 and 2 right down below, which we'll get to here in just a minute. But the thing is, there are certain things they're looking at here, and they're referring you back to a lot of sections and telling you the type of cables you can use when you're using them in these type of locations. That's what it really gets into. I can sit here and go through all the cables, but
one thing that I want to add to that, King James, is that there a lot of times, like when we get into hazardous locations, they're saying a flexible cord is not a permanent installation,
Well, let me explain a little bit of difference between here. The way they design their equipment is different than the way it's designed by the U.S. All their equipment is designed to self-contain.
Yeah.
That's why it's different and why they allow certain type of wiring methods where all their protection techniques are built into the equipment where ours is not. That's why you see, like, if we have, say, explosion-proof equipment, we got to put a seal within 18 inches.
Yeah.
Okay. Now they require, and a lot of people won't know this. When this first come out and you were dealing with this type of equipment, do you know it didn't even need seals? And then they come back and say, well, no, if you're going to put it in, we're going to require you to put in a seal. But when it first went in the code, it didn't require a seal.
Yeah,
Isn't that something?
Like the thing that's weird about it is it's situational. Like when you look at it, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's just situations where I'm like, this is stupid. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And it's because I know the code, I see the code, and I look at it, and I'm like, dude, why are you guys doing this? But at the same time, it's like I'm not mad at them. I just don't know why you're doing that, And then all of a sudden, there's some guys from Texas that's like, why electricity doesn't? Oh, I'm not saying you. I don't want you to think I'm saying you, but there's a lot of guys from Texas that are like, oh man, electricity don't care what color it's on. And I'm not saying you said that or anything like that. I'm just saying there's just a lot of electricians from Texas that say that. Electricity don't care what color it's on. Well, yeah, it cares what color it's not on.
Well, it does care if you hook it up wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
It cares at that point.
But then that's the whole thing of like the myth of the week too is like, is that a code violation if you hook it up wrong? And the answer is yes, it is kind of to a point, but the myth of the week was false. And we busted that myth. So
sure. And when you get over to 506, this is just deals with your dust, and you got the same thing for your reconditioned equipment. So you can see they're just tying everything in. It's all the same. You just got to know where to get it. And then when you get into your equipment requirements and you're dealing with dust, you'll see there you got the X and the U suffix again. Okay?
Yeah, and that is pretty important. A lot of people don't understand when you get into this like hazardous location stuff. We've installed stuff and come back like a week later. It looks like it's been there for a million years.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not brand new looking. Like there's ways that you can do like protect it or whatever,
Sure.
But I mean, there's nothing more disheartening than installing a ground. Let's just say it's a 3-aught for like 500 foot, strapping it perfect, doing everything, making it look like a conduit, the whole way. And then all of a sudden they're like, I thought you replaced the ground. Well, yeah, I did. And I was like, after one weekend, it looked like we didn't even replace it.
Yeah.
Because of how much wind and sand and stuff hit it, and it was sad, dude. It was super, super, super sad, man. I was not happy with what happened, but I don't know. We'll see. Is that the last slide you got?
I'm not sure. This is still dealing with the zone locations and urine dust. You got the retrofit kits there, same wording, and that was my last one. Thank God.
All right. No, dude, I freaking love that because there is a lot of controversy. I'm gonna have to do some more myths on this and cover it, but there's a lot of controversy on that zone location and what, can you install an outlet in a hazardous location? I didn't even know. I mean, to me personally, I never install an outlet in a hazardous location. I always just hardwire it to the panel. But I don't know. Maybe there's a way that somebody could explain to me that we install outlets out there and gas and oil. And I don't know. Maybe it happens. I don't know.
Termination.
Supposedly it happens in dwelling units only. But, we'll see how that goes down. Should we go to Willie Quiz?
Yeah, we can start Willie Quiz.
Welcome in to the Willie Quiz, sponsored by Adam.com. Adam is such a cool dude. He's so cool. Made that intro. Question number 1. Which spider's venom contains a neurotoxin called whatever. I'll pull it, Adam. Which causes massive
neurotransmitter release and severe pain.
Do you want to just read them this whole time?
Okay, I'll do it.
All right. Yeah, all right, whatever. But anyway, you're going to lose anyway. But is it A, brown recluse, B, Sydney funnel web spider, C, black widow, D, Brazilian wandering spider, or E, yellow sac spider? Good luck, everyone.
Well,
Dude, you're talking about the Colorado collusion. Everyone knows I got bit by a black widow, so.
Oh, damn, he's going black widow. See, I was not going with a black widow because you put neurotransmitter. I thought I was watching one time something on Australia. And they were talking about, I didn't remember the name of the spider, but they were talking about how if you didn't get to the hospital, like within an hour or two, it could possibly cause death even.
Yeah, dude, it was pretty bad. I got bit by a spider, so just so everyone knows.
I'm going to go with B. Black widow, their bites are not even deep. They're more black widows. You know, we used to catch those all the time down at the cemetery when I was younger. They'd be out at night, and those things, they mainly their bites and everything, venom was small things. They don't even affect humans.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, dude, you're right, dude. That's 100%. So Daniel's going with C, Black Widow.
What would be?
What's your final answer?
B.
B. The Sydney funnel web spider. So let's see if we. Dude, I don't even know if I even have a.
Broncos.
Oh yeah, we got Broncos country. Oh yeah. You guys are both wrong. It is the A. Brown recluse is the one that does that, and that's the one I got bit by. I found out by doctors. So, like if anyone wants to dispute, send me a court claim, and I will dispute it, and I will prove you wrong. That, like, dude, I thought I got bit by a black widow. Honestly, I was like, oh man, I got bit by a black widow, but they're like, the doctor's like, nah. They're like, there's a lot of tissue damage there, and that's like usually a brown recluse. And you said you got bit by a brown recluse, and it did the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
So it gave me a lot of comfort to have King James join me in the Spider Kingdom. All right, question number 2: what makes the bite of a Sydney funnel web spider particularly dangerous to humans? It causes immediate tissue necrosis. B, its venom is far more toxic to primates than most other animals. C, it injects venom only when threatened by water. D, it can spit venom up to 3 feet. E, its webs usually hang around 6 foot off the ground. Good luck, everyone.
Oh, I'm gonna go with B. I think humans, primates are similar, and I think their venom's like really toxic. I remember them talking about that on one of the shows. I don't remember any of that other stuff. I guess if I was gonna guess the second one, it'd be A, but I'll go with B.
All right, so it looks like King James is gonna copy Daniel again. He always copies Daniel. Like I guess if Daniel's gonna be right, then King James is gonna copy him. But let's see if he's right. We have the first correct answer tonight. Congratulations, King James and Daniel got the first correct answer. And anybody in the chat who wants to join in, jump on in and see if you can beat the mighty king. All right, the brown recluse spider's venom destroys tissue through which primary mechanism? Is it A, pulmonary enzymes causing necrosis, B, neurotoxins shutting down nerve cells, C, anticoagulants causing internal bleeding, D, acidic compounds burning tissue, or E, needle-like acidic bites causing extreme instant pain. Good luck, everyone.
Well,
I actually want to call you an asshole right now because I think I need glasses.
you do. I put my glasses on. I know I don't see too good. Well, I was thinking about this. I was thinking that when you get bit by one of those, it's sort of like we had it, sort of your nerves right where it is, and I think that's why the nerves there and it swells and itches and everything. So I
Right.
think it'd be B. I think it had to be your nerve cells.
Oh, dude, you're copying Daniel?
Oh, he went B too.
Oh my goodness. So far, just to recap, we're on question number 3. We have one correct answer from you, one correct answer from Daniel. And you guys are copying each other again. I don't know, man. Oh, wait. No, wait. Is that... Dude, is that the right... No, that's not the right one. All right.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Oh, wait. No, that's not it. The answer is A. Parabolic enzymes causing necrosis. So, dude, it was crazy. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it basically... I thought I was going to, like, lose my finger. Because it just, like, started killing the flesh, you know?
Wow.
So that's what necrosis is, so, or necrosis, or whatever it is. All right, so question number 4. The Brazilian wandering spider, blah blah blah, is often the world's most venomous spider. What unusual symptom can occur in male bite victims? Temporary blindness, painful hours of long erection, excessive hair growth, hallucination, or extreme vomiting. Good luck, everyone.
I actually know this one.
Oh, you hallucinated too, huh?
What Daniel come with?
Looks like Daniel is going with B.
He's right.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's see.
Broncos country, let's ride.
Oh, wait. That's the wrong line. You guys are right. It's B. That's weird. Like,
I shouldn't even know that, but I actually knew that one.
Yeah. All right. What is the primary reason tarantulas are rarely lethal to humans, despite their, intimidating size? Yeah. So A, their fangs are too weak to penetrate human skin. B, they inject venom only when provided multiple times. C, their venom is designed to affect small prey, not large mammals. D, they release an antidote after they bite. Yeah, that's not right. All right. E, they are too slow at the biting motion. Good luck, everyone.
I think I answered this earlier, so I'll go with C.
C. Okay. All right. Daniel is going C. Looks like we have a tie tonight. You and Daniel tied.
Yep.
And so we're going to have to go to the tiebreaker question.
All right.
What is the number of worldwide spiders? This is an over-under. So it's just, all you have to do is just answer what number. But what is your closest guess of
How many different spiders there are?
how many different poisonous or lethal, like venomous to human spiders there are worldwide? So it's just an over under. I know Daniel's gonna say 5,000, but you know, like it's just an over under. Like,
I don't know, 35,000.
so it's just an over under of how many, not the number, but just how many different kinds.
Estimate.
Like how many different kinds of poisonous spiders there are out there that are like lethal to humans. So it could be like
That are
10.
lethal to humans.
Yeah, or not lethal, but I mean just dangerous, poisonous, whatever. Like there is, if you ask me, there's 0 that's lethal to humans. You know, but like they said, like the web spider or whatever, you know, in Australia, you know, I don't think it could kill a human, you know, but if you're not treated within a certain amount of time, but
I guess I was going to say
the
that
question-
lethal to humans, I'd say maybe 1.
the question is basically how many different types of spiders are like dangerous to humans
I'd say
worldwide.
1.
Worldwide.
I'll go with 1.
And so it's basically like the closest without going over, you know.
I'll go 1.
All right. King James going 1. King James pulls the $1 on Price is Right. So Daniel's gonna go 10,000, and is he gonna get the over? But I mean, the thing is, this is for all of the bread and gravy. Daniel is
No way
going
there's 80 spiders.
80.
No
80.
way.
80.
I'd say at the
man.
most 5. But I went
Oh,
1
man.
to be safe
Oh,
and not go
man.
over again.
King James gets the win. Oh man, it was.
How many
12.
was it?
It was 12.
12.
So they say anywhere from 12 to 100, but it's a big argument like when it comes to it, but it's basically like 12 to like 35.
I'd say there probably is more than 12, but that's if you're not treated.
Yeah. 100%. 80's a little off the ropes there, Daniel. But I mean, it's cool, dude. I mean, I'm not tripping.
Just take your ass with them, Daniel. I'm smarter than you.
Dude, Daniel loves that song. Like Daniel, he's dancing right now. Dude, Daniel's sitting there all. Dude, Daniel loves that song, man. He just his flashbacks to certain electric companies we worked for.
That's funny.
But no, dude, awesome times. Thanks so much. Appreciate everyone. We got the customary pickle shot from Adam. Thanks so much, Adam, making that intro. It was so awesome. And, dude, it means so much doing this. And, like I say, King James, I'll give this cheers to you. I think that, the second time you won this year?
Shoot, I want a lot more than 2.
Well, the Cowboys have it. Oh! Against the Broncos.
They're about to this Sunday. Will be an ass
see.
whooping extreme coming.
We'll see.
All right, you ready for tool?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
It's time for Tool Review of the Week. Sponsored by Electricians Only Tool Review and Nipex Tradesman.
Right. We always switch off between Milwaukee and DeWalt. And I believe this week it is the red that we're covering. And this is a really cool tool. This is not out yet, I don't think, but it's a 64-piece Packout, fully stocked with tools and everything. I think it's pretty cool. A lot of the people that's gonna be using this is the guys that like go out of town. You could be like, hey, order me this 64-piece, send it over there, boom, it's got everything you need. I still have not checked this out as to see, like it's not even out yet, but once it's out, I'm going to be checking it out to see, like, hey, man, does it got everything I need? Because it might need more stuff, you know? But I might have to do, like, an ad on this and be like, oh, no, it needs nut drivers, or oh, no, it needs sockets, or whatever it is. But the thing is, this is supposedly supposed to, 64-piece that you could send out job site. It's got everything you need. So if they do that, that's awesome. If they don't, I will let you know, because this is not out yet. I like the drawers, the way the drawers roll out, especially on the Packout, because they don't have any model like this yet. This is the first model they've had with rollout drawers like that. Like, they do have some different models that have rollout drawers and stuff like that I've seen before, but this is the first one, and I really like it. I think that's pretty cool way to go, because you put that on top of your Packout and then boom, you just sit there and just roll your tools out all day and you're good to go, man. You're the master of your domain. So honestly, I really like that. That's a cool tool, and I hope it comes out. It's supposed to come out, I think it said like November or December, so it's not out yet, but
in time for Christmas.
Yep, 100%. Send it to me. Anybody who wants to send me that Packout, I will gladly accept it. But we got to go to, what is it? Question of the week?
Yep, man, boss is my shame.
You're going down.
For years, man tried to create artificial intelligence. On this segment, we find out, is AI smarter than King James?
Hey, good night, David. David's heading out. Thanks for joining us, David. Appreciate you, sir, hanging out with us.
You have something else there? What do you say?
Oh, about the July questions.
Still can't? Okay, I'm going to have to figure out. We've been messing with that, trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I don't know why it's not allowing him. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll look at it.
We'll
and
figure it out.
get off. All right, let's see what you got here.
Yeah, so this is really awesome, because a lot of the apprentices are like asking all these questions, and I'm like, all right.
Emergency lighting, merge per 10 seconds. I think it's like 700.12, I think.
I think C something too.
Well, let me go over. Let me pull up the National Electrical Code. Let's see what we can find. Give me a few seconds to find all of this. Okay.
Looks like Minnesota just scored touchdown too.
Okay. All right. Let's see. 700.12. Current supply such. Yeah, 700.12. 10 seconds.
Hey, do you think that I'll get in any trouble because I'm using I'm directly quoting the code? Like, do you think NFPA will put me in jail?
Hell no.
All right. So, do you think we could go check out what ChatGPT?
That's where I'm going right now.
All right. Cool. It got it right when I did it, but I don't know.
All right.
I think the multiple choice
Let's
confuses
see what
me,
it comes
possibly.
up with. I'm still thinking tonight. Oh, it got it exactly right.
Nice.
Exactly. It quoted the section and everything.
Nice. Yes.
Awesome.
We freaking educated ChatGPT.
ChatGPT for doing a better job learning the national electrical code.
Dude, 100%.
King James was also right.
Oh, dang it. Got him. Got him.
You wait. Keep this up, ChatGPT, and you will be on the same level as King James.
Oh, man.
We're so proud of you continuing the excellence of learning how to apply the NEC.
Dude, nice. I love it. Dude, that's freaking perfect. That's perfect. Dude, so awesome, man. Man vs. Machine has made ChatGPT better because, honestly, I was actually embarrassed for ChatGPT, you know?
Yeah, I'll tell them that.
I was embarrassed.
That would be awesome to build a running NEC mastery log.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, they say you want me to do it, and I say, oh yeah.
There we go.
It is now active. So it's going to build a mastery log every time we ask it a question.
All right. Let's
Okay. Hell
Let's
yeah.
do it.
I'm cool with that. All right.
Yeah.
You want to build a mastery log? We're all for it, brother.
Yeah, guess what? You guys out there in apprenticeship school, don't use us to cheat. We're going to know how to pull ChatGPT. Where are we going? Wall of Shame?
Yep, last thing.
Shame. 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 Shame.
Dude, this one I think will actually impress you. Like when I saw it, and the guy, he actually, who was it? Mike Master. And so, does this make sense to you?
How are they getting the wires? Did they? Oh, I see what they did. They got a little connector and they're running it along the wall and then connecting it.
Yeah, and so they use that GFCI, so it's legal because it's I think what was it be 406 406.9. But anyway, if you're feeding a 2-wire circuit downstream, then you could have a 2-wire, and they plug the 2-wire in, and it looks like some kind of door latch or something that they screwed over top of it or something.
Boy, that looks like crap.
Yeah, but it's got wire mold. Like, oh man, I don't know. I don't know about that one. I don't know. That is truly a shame picture. But
Wow.
Mike Masters said he was impressed by that one because they put that little disconnect in there, then they screwed that plate over top of it so you couldn't see it.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I think that plate that's laying on the ground, that was the plate that they screwed over it. But
And that's exactly why we have the wall of shame.
dude, I'll tell you what, I want to give you props for the first time winning the tiebreaker this year, probably. But I don't know. I think it's really cool. Like when you win, I think it's cool. I think it's cool because Daniel is he's just such a champion. Like he just carries himself like a champion. And he just smokes you.
You know
every
why I
game.
decided to win tonight?
Probably because the Cowboys are gonna suck.
It's a
on
prelude to what y'all are going to
Sunday.
get on Sunday.
Nah, not happening. Not going down. Nope.
Hey, it sounded feasible to me. You can't get away from that.
It'll be like the X on. It'll be like survey said. You know. But no, I mean, dude, honestly, I wish you guys like a really good game. I actually have a lot of different fantasy players that are from the Cowboys, from the Broncos, whatever. So we are all gonna have a peaceful, coexistent game where the Broncos decisively win, and you guys decisively go back to Texas and be America's non-team. We'll see.
We'll soon be talking smack come Monday.
We'll see. Yeah.
Or I'll be
Yeah.
talking it Sunday. I'm going to be sending y'all pictures.
Yeah.
Look at the
Dude.
score. Look at the score. I'm a big smile
Yeah.
on my face. I
Yeah.
go, look, another touchdown. Oh,
Yeah.
we just scored another one.
Yeah, do it. Do it. Yeah. Yeah. I'll send them. Dude, you think I don't got your number? You know, like, I got your number, dude. Like, we're going to be doing the same thing back and forth. But the thing is that's so awesome is I love all the people that come in, hang out with us, talk football, talk whatever, code, electrical, whatever. It's so much fun. King James is a really awesome sport. I make fun of him a lot because he's a Cowboys fan, and he makes fun of me a lot because I'm a Broncos fan. But he doesn't remember that the Broncos are first in the AFC West, and the Cowboys are not first in the, you know.
We're about to
Yeah. We'll
go
see.
on a run here. We're probably going to win our next 7 games.
Yeah, and Daniel, thanks so much for joining us, Daniel. You know, he got some.
I'm
got
going to
some
be sitting
good-
there. I'm going to make some guacamole for a game. I'm just going to be sitting there. Another score.
All right.
Another, golly, they've already scored 4 touchdowns. I ain't even finished this plate of guacamole.
Daniel says he's got some good crow recipes, and he's like, all right, James, I'm going to be sharing those crow recipes with you during the game. And James is like, no, this one's better because he's going to have to eat more crow, so he's going to have a better recipe. So
The
I
only
do-
chance y'all have is if our defense doesn't show up.
I don't know.
He's gonna
Against
stop
Baltimore-
our offense. We got too much. It's too much firepower. There's too many studs on the team. I mean, y'all are gonna have to cover CD, Pickens. You have to cover our tight end. You're gonna have to cover our other receiver, and then you're gonna have to stop our running back. Good luck for that.
Yeah. And, dude, Daniel, he has a really good point on this, you know. I mean, you know,
I don't even want. I'm not even getting into that one. I'm disappointed.
dude, what's so funny is that King James is like, oh, man, I'm all about Longhorns. And they're like, all right, cool. And then he's like, nah, I'm all about Cowboys. You know, they're going against the Broncos. But it's really funny. We have a lot of good fun, like joking around, like people in the chat, everything. It's so much fun. Like we have a blast, and we like joking around with you guys. And King James is not talking about Longhorns right now. He's only talking about Cowboys because they're going against Broncos. But
Well,
I know.
I have to.
I know firsthand that your dad is number 2 team is the Broncos. So if the Cowboys lose, he's going Broncos the whole rest of the season. So I already talked to your dad, and he already said he's abandoning the Cowboys if they lose the Broncos. So
I know he didn't say that.
yeah, he said
I
that.
know better.
That's what happened. So all right, but. Dude, it's so much fun. Appreciate everyone in the chat joining in. So much fun. We had a blast tonight. Dude, like I say, this was like one of our funnest podcasts. It's always fun when you're riding daddy's coattails, and nobody knows what that means. But tonight they do, because you're just riding daddy's coattails all the way to the promised land. And guess what? Your dad gave you the full rights, and you are full worthy of it, and you are the best. If anyone wants to get continuing education, go through James Skull Cup. It's the best in the land. That is 100%, hands down.
Wait till they see come by next summer. Everything's going to be on there and be like, damn, man, this is freaking good.
100%. Appreciate everyone joining us. I don't have anything else.
I'm done. I'm ready to go eat.
I always say, as always, remember, make every day an easy day. I don't know what James says.
Everybody have a good weekend. Enjoy watching the Cowboys whoop up on Denver. It's a foregone conclusion.
Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Me and Daniel are gonna be photo bombing you. Dude, send everything you want, dude. Send everything you want. Me and Daniel are ready, dude. We're ready. We're ready. All
right. Everybody have a good weekend. We'll see y'all Monday.
Deuces.